Hello everyone, my name is Raghavi Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In this video, you're going to see about Finalize keyword, Unit 3, Objects and Classes. So the subject code is 23 CST 205, Object Oriented Programming using Java. So finalize in Java. So understanding the final keyword in object oriented programming. So let's recall of the previous topics, basic OOPS concepts and Java fundamental. So the core OOPS principles are encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. So encapsulation means bundling data with methods that operate on that data. So it combines or binds the methods and attributes. So inheritance, so creating new classes from the existing ones. So the derived classes will be created from the parent class. So polymorphism. So polymorphism means taking many forms. Poly means many, morphism means forms. Object taking many forms through overriding. So next one is abstraction, hiding complex implementation details. So Java class structure. So the class defines blueprint for objects. So method defines behavior and operations. Variables store state and data. Modifiers control access and behavior. So the final keyword intersects with all these concepts, providing powerful constraints that enhance code quality and design clarity. So define, DT define. So what is the final keyword in Java? So the core definition is the final keyword is non-access modifier that restricts modification, preventing changes to variables, methods or classes once they are defined. So there are three applications can be applied to variables, methods and classes. So in variables creating constants, in methods for preventing overriding, and in classes for preventing inheritance. So design purpose. So enforce immutability, strengthens encapsulations and communicates intent clearly to other developers working with your code. So it enforces immutability. Once the data is allocated or fixed, it cannot be changed. The data is immutable. So think of a final as a contract. Once established, the terms cannot be renegotiated. This constraint is a feature, not a limitation. Final variables, immutable references and constants. So instance variables must be initialized during declaration in an initializer block or in the constructor. One set cannot be reassigned. So this is called as an instance variables. So static variable. So what is static variable? So it creates constants when combined with static. Convention uses uppercase naming for clarity. So local variables. So it can be declared final within methods, particularly useful in lambda expression and anonymous classes. So method parameters. It prevents modifications of parameters within the method body, ensuring the original reference remains unchanged. So this is the sample program consisting of a final keyword, public class configuration, your class name is configuration, public final string API equal to, we have assigned some value for a key, public static final int max connection equal to 100. So public void process final string data. So data cannot be reassigned here. So the data is fixed. So then we are going to print the data using the output function system.out.println. So final methods, preventing method overriding. So why use final methods? So final method is mainly used for security, performance, design integrity and API contrast. So in security, it prevents subclasses from changing critical behavior. Performance enables compiler optimization through inlining. So design integrity protects core functionality from modification. API contracts ensures consistent behavior across inheritance hierarchy. So the common use cases: template methods and design patterns, utility methods and fixed algorithms, and security critical operations that must remain unchanged. So this is the sample example program. Final classes: creating non-inheritable classes. So there are three classes: immutable, utility, and security critical. So in immutable classes, string, integer, and other wrapper classes are final to guarantee immutability. So this ensures thread safety and predictable behavior. So utility classes like math and collections are final because they contain only static methods and shouldn't be subclassed or instantiated. Security critical classes: preventing inheritance stops malicious subclasses from overriding security checks or altering protected behavior. So design considerations: making a class final is a significant design decision. It prevents extension and can limit flexibility. So use when the classes represents a fundamental unchangeable concepts. Subclassing would compromise security or correctness. The class is designed for composition and not for inheritance. Emphasize. So TT emphasize. Best practices and common pitfalls with final. So best practices are: use final for constants with uppercase naming. So make variable final by default when they won't change. Apply final to methods that form critical contracts. Consider composition over inheritance when using final classes. So the common pitfalls are: assuming final makes objects immutable, overusing final classes limiting code extensibility, forgetting to initialize final instance variable, confusing final with static final for constant. So this is the mind map, the overview of what we have discussed earlier. The final keyword can prevent modification, properties, then cannot be overrider, and properties that one constructor, and constraints once assigned cannot be changed. Then usage scenario: variables, methods, and classes. So it can be used in variable for declaring variable, and also methods and classes. So this is the activity puzzle. Find the odd one out. So out of 4 options, you have to find the odd one. So final variable, final class, and final method. Then option D is finalize. So the right answer is finalize, option D. So reason: finalize is a method of object class, not a keyword. So finalize is a method. Other are Java keyword usages. So true or false? Final variables must be initialized at the time of declaration. So this is a false statement. So they can be initialized in the constructor itself. So second one, final classes can have constructor. Yeah, in final classes can be declared in constructor also. The final methods can be overloaded. Yes, obviously it's a true statement. The final methods can be overloaded. Thank you.